Hello there, welcome to Get Out the Vote. Our guest today is Mr. Nganga, a seasoned communications consultant with 8 years experience. He is also a partner at Oxygen Marketing and Communications Limited. Welcome to the show, Mr. Alfred Nganga.
Thank you, Stella.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your profession.
My name is Alfred Nganga, as you rightly put it, and I'm a communications consultant. We are an integrated marketing communications company, and therefore serving a broad base of clients and obviously delivering a variety of solutions to our clients.
Do you think that Kenya's democracy is as mature as South Africa's?
Yes, we are actually, in my estimation, a little bit ahead of South Africa. We have quite a robust and very dedicated kind of political scene. We have very self-aware politicians and very focused politicians for that matter. One of the key things and fundamentals of corporate communications and therefore political communications is branding. And a lot of them have already done a lot in terms of brand identity. I'm very glad when I keep on seeing someone like Joho. He's not just wearing an orange cape, he also has the name Joho emblazoned on it. And the same for Raila Odinga and all the other people.
How do you think that Donald Trump's utterances have impacted his campaign?
I think one of the key things you must look at it, and the difference between maybe Kenya and the US is the target audience that you're dealing with. Unfortunately, the US has got a lot of people who sometimes do resonate with what Donald Trump is actually projecting. It may not be very good for the global scene, and particularly for us who are trying to get away from bigotry, if I could call it that. But unfortunately, America still has that level of bigotry and people who feel that their opportunity and the greatness of the US has been eroded by refugees coming in, borders between them and Mexico and all that. So I think Donald is actually sharp enough to be using an advantage that he has to appeal to a particular segment of the American society.
Why do you think Hillary's campaign is not going so well? For example, she's not relating very well with the millennials. Do you think that there's a way she can be able to use social media to influence or impact her campaign in any which way?
From where I sit, I think it's also too early to actually indicate whether it's working or it's not working. The recent debate that they had puts her miles ahead. At least, I mean, in America, even a single point means a lot. And for me, I actually think Hillary, in a lot of dynamics and kind of parameters, is quite ahead of Donald. In actual fact, social media is just a vehicle like any other vehicle that you'll be using to reach out to the target audience. And therefore, the application, at the end of the day, dictates that the messaging also rhyme with what they want to hear. So I would imagine one of the key reasons why the millennials may not be appreciating where Hillary is coming from at this point in time is also because she may not have spoken to their immediate needs currently.
What should Kenyans expect coming out of the elections should Donald Trump win?
Difficult to say, but definitely looking at the kind of support or lack of it that Donald enjoys here, I think it will be quite a disappointment. But the good thing with America, at the end of the day, they have very solid international relations and foreign policies that would still not really affect Kenya to a large extent.
Russia had its elections a few weeks ago with Vladimir Putin's United Russia Party winning with a majority vote. How do you think that Kenyans should be able to relate to a scenario like that where Russia was accused of rigging and ballot stuffing, especially when the West and the East call out to Kenya and say that we are very corrupt?
One of the good things about Kenya is that we tend to do things our way. We are very good in terms of choosing the right and obviously discarding the wrong. I doubt we will be benchmarking our elections on the Russian case. Or for that matter, even in Africa, several examples that we have. I think one of the key things that you're looking at in Kenya is a very vibrant and well-informed voting base, and most importantly, the candidates themselves. The quality of candidates that we continue to see popping out, aspiring for women reps, MCAs, governor, senator, you name it, is very good.
Paul Kagame's government is said to be a dictatorship by some. Well, it's considered by a democracy. What's wrong with having a dictatorship in Africa if it works?
Well, I must confess, I actually admire Paul Kagame very much. And I must say that democracy application is good for any country in the world, not just Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, wherever. But democracy has to be applied within specific constitutional confines. And it's up to the people of these countries to actually dictate what are the confines of our country. So we must promote civic education so that every one of us appreciates, why do I, number one, need to have an identity card? Because it's a fact that we have a lot of youth who today are not seeing the value of even holding a national ID card. It's a very sad scenario. And therefore, a lot more effort needs to be put, not just by the government, which has been doing a good job in terms of asking people to go and pick the identity cards, but also by the parties themselves to encourage the youth, go pick your national ID and choose from one of the parties that exist. Become a member. And by becoming a member, then you're able to participate in the modalities of that party going forward. Because if you don't participate in the nomination process when the primaries are called, then who do you have to blame? Because on the day of voting, you will have candidates who do not are from your preferred party, but you don't like them.
Do you think that CORD under Raila has a chance of winning this election? And the reason I ask this is because he can be able to become a kingmaker and be able to support the likes of Wetangula and Kalonzo Musyoka.
They do have a chance, because at the end of the day, if you look at the Kenyan political scenario, we rarely from history do we make a decision how many months, almost 10 months ahead of the elections. We are very slow in terms of uptake. And therefore, why I would say that yes, they still have a chance, it depends on how they consolidate their base. That's the most important bit. If they're able to convince all the other affiliate parties and they're able to go to their party primaries and dictate that, or rather vote for Raila as the party leader, then the chance is there. And he remains a formidable force from where I sit.
What advice would you give to an aspiring politician who wants to be able to win an election based on image and status?
It's actually, from where I sit, I could say, is a very clinical process, because there's no one size fits all. So all candidates will need to really begin adapting, number one, research. You need to research your voting area. What are the tendencies and what are the patterns? What are the aspirations? What are the values? What are the fears of the people who you intend to vote for you? Because once you hit the campaign trail, you'll be speaking to those fears, those aspirations, and those values that people perhaps in Nairobi or any other county espouse. Beyond research will be you developing yourself into a very differentiated kind of brand. At the end of the day, we'll have a very cluttered field, and everyone will need to stand for something, because what you stand for is also what is able now to make you stand out with a voter. At the end of the day, also remember that a voter is not just looking to vote for you because of how eloquent you may sound, but the message is going to be very key. My advice to them is consult communication consultants who exist and are available at your service, so that you are able to define and really draw a roadmap that wins you the votes. And for sure, research is a key driver to a lot of the strategies that anyone can do.
Thank you very much for watching our show. We are very grateful. Please subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, tweet us, and follow us on Instagram. The links are down below, and watch out for more videos like these ones.